Hello, Jessica Frost Ballas here with a video for lawnfawn. Today I'm sharing an interactive Peekaboo pop-up card featuring some of the new Fall 2022 products, so let's get started. First, I stamp images from the new Fangtastic Friends and the older Pick-a-the-Patch stamp sets onto white cardstock with Copic-friendly black ink. I color all of my images using Copic markers. I decide that I want the bats to have a little bit of a purple tint to them, so I blend a few light shades of blue-violet with neutral grays. I find it easiest to color the entire bat with the lightest purple shade first, and then add shading with the grays, moving from my darkest gray to the lightest. I finish by adding another layer of the light purple to blend it all together. This helps me get a soft transition between two very different colors. I color the rest of the images and then die cut them with the coordinating dies. Next, I've die cut the largest panel of the Peekaboo die once from white cardstock, and also cut a piece of distress heavy stock to 6x6 to create my night sky. I die cut the puffy cloud borders from the top of the white cardstock for the top panel of my interactive card. You'll see two score lines on the white cardstock, and I keep those on the right side of my cloud panel. Later I'll make sure the score lines are on the left side of the nighttime sky panel. Next, I place my cloud panel on the 6x6 panel for reference, and then temporarily adhere a circle of masking paper to create a moon. I usually have pixie spray for my stencils, but I'm out at the moment, and I didn't want to risk moving a stencil accidentally, so I use masking paper instead. I remove the cloud panel and then blend milk lavender, wilted violet, and black soot distress oxide ink around the moon. I go back and forth between the colors until I have a smooth transition. I love the slightly eerie and spooky blend that matches perfectly with my purpley gray bats. I leave the mask in place while I spray the panel with a mix of liquid stardust and water, which creates a super shimmery background. I let that dry and then I remove the masking paper circle and place the negative of the circle around it on the panel. It's important to let the panel dry before removing the masking paper or it can tear. I blend antique linen distress oxide ink softly over the moon with a blending brush, and then place the new nighttime sky stencil over the moon. I use a heavier hand to apply more antique linen distress oxide ink over the fun details of the stencil. Once I'm finished, I carefully remove the masking paper and then spritz the panel a few more times with my shimmer spray. Then I let the panel dry completely before die cutting it with the large Peekaboo pop-up die. Again, I keep the score lines to the left side of the panel. Off camera, I die cut the stitch tree borders from black cardstock twice. I also die cut these using the Peekaboo pop-up die to get the curved edge and stitching detail on the bottom of the tree borders. Next, it's time to start assembling the card. I start by folding the night sky panel along the score lines. First, I fold the panel backwards across the first score line and use a scoring tool to crease the fold. Because of all of the ink on the panel, I like to cover the fold with a piece of scrap paper and then use my bone folder to ensure that I don't accidentally transfer ink onto the bone folder. Then I fold the second score line the opposite direction so you have a Z fold. I fold and score the trees in the same way since they'll eventually be adhered to the bottom of the sky panel. Then I adhere the tree layers together and adhere them to the sky panel, making sure that all the folds line up. I also trim off a tree that happens to sit right in the middle of one of the folds so it won't get in the way of anything. Next, I take the top cloud panel and fold the score lines on the right in the opposite order from the sky panel. So I fold the first score line towards me and crease it with my bone folder. Then I fold the second score line in the opposite direction to create another Z fold. It might sound a little confusing right now, but when you see it lined up on the other panel, it makes a lot more sense. Next, I apply tape runner to the back of the right side of my cloud panel, making sure I don't get it past the first score line. Then I follow the rounded edge shape and adhere it to my night sky. At this point, you can start to see how the card will move. I fold the score lines of the cloud panel again and crease them with my bone folder just to make sure I've got nice crisp edges. For the actual Peekaboo mechanism, there are 3 options included in the die set. I'm using the one that will bring my image closest to the right side of the sky panel, but you can use whichever one you prefer. It's hard to see on the cardstock, but when you look at the die, you'll see two score lines on the thicker part of the die that fold down into triangles. I fold along these score lines and crease them with a bone folder. I apply adhesive to the small triangle end that's not folded to the long arm. Then I turn the piece over so that the folded ends, including the piece with adhesive, are facing down. I fold open the cloud panel along the score line and adhere the adhesive triangle along the edge of the score line. Then, just to make sure it doesn't move or shift, I add a little tape along the bottom to help hold it in place. When you fold the mechanism back down along the score line and close the cloud panel, you can see how the mechanism will work. Next, I start building my scene. I have die cut all my images and I arrange them around the card and then adhere them with a combination of tape runner and liquid glue. I put a little liquid glue on a piece of scrap paper and gently tap and rub it behind the spindly tree branches to lightly apply glue without getting big globs of glue everywhere. I've die cut a sentiment from Henry's ABCs using black glitter paper and stamped the rest of the sentiment from Fangtastic Friends onto black cardstock. I adhere a bat to the top cloud and then add the sentiment. At this point, I haven't adhered the left side of the cloud panel to the sky panel yet, just to make it easier to adhere the sentiment and images. After adhering the sentiment, I pull the card to swing out the Peekaboo mechanism and figure out where I want to place my bat. I trim off the excess from the arm and then adhere the bat. I like that you can use as much or as little of the arm to fit your design. At this point, I add adhesive to the end of the cloud panel and adhere it to the sky panel. Make sure your adhesive doesn't go past the first score line of the sky panel. I love how the bat peeks out when you pull the card. I add my last branch and bats, making sure they won't interfere with the mechanism. Then I trim off the branch overhang. The die set includes a little stitched rounded edge rectangle that's perfect for adding to the back of the card for a written message. I die cut that from light purple cardstock and adhere it to the back of the card. And that's it! I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, I'd love for you to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. Be sure to subscribe to the lawnfawn channel for even more crafty inspiration. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, have an amazing day and happy crafting. Bye!